Hey, what's up everyone? John here from testprepinsight.com, and today I'll be reviewing School of PE. I'm going to cover how School of PE's courses are structured, what the classes are like, pricing, and of course, what I like and what I don't like. So if you're ready, we've got a lot to get to. Let's hit it. Alright, so to kick things off, I just want to mention up front here that since I'll just be sort of limited to talking about the major highlights and lowlights in this 10-minute or so video, if you find you need more detail at any point, you can always check out our full detailed written review over on our website. An easy way to get there is just to Google Test Prep Insight School of PE Review. That's a quick way to find it. Okay, so a quick disclosure before we dive into the meat and potatoes of this review, just so we're all on the same page. We reviewed the FE Civil On Demand course from School of PE, not the other disciplines or the PE course. That being said, we've triple-checked that the approach used by the School of PE to the other FE disciplines and their PE materials are the exact same in terms of framework and tools. Essentially, everything is identical except, of course, for the underlying difference in substantive content. So, while we only took the FE Civil course, my analysis today and thoughts on the program as a whole nonetheless apply to the other FE disciplines as well as the PE courses. So with that out of the way, let's briefly cover what School of PE cost and the different format options before diving into my full breakdown, because I think this will help provide some additional context. So, with School of PE, their prep course comes in two different ways. You can take it as an on-demand package or with live online classes. And although that might sound like vastly different formats and experiences, the truth is that this course is the same either way. The video lectures that make up the heart of the on-demand package are simply recorded lectures from the live classes, and similarly, the live classes that make up the backbone of the live online package are recorded and posted online. So the only real difference is whether you want the structure and accountability that comes with a regular class schedule or the flexibility to study when and where you want. That's the only real difference. Either way though, the cost is roughly the same for the two packages. They're usually within a couple $100s of each other. And in terms of total cost, no matter what discipline you're studying for or whether you're taking the FE or PE, you're looking at somewhere around $1,000 to $1,500 for your School of PE course, with the one caveat here being that School of PE does have a monthly subscription package which typically costs around $300 per month if you'd rather pay by the drink. But putting this all in perspective, School of PE courses are about $1,000 cheaper than equivalent PPI courses, but a few $100s more expensive than budget alternatives like Civil Engineering Academy. All in all though, I personally think School of PE is a strong value for what you get, as I'll explain more here in a minute. Also, it is worth mentioning that School of PE does sometimes run special sales and promotions, so be sure to check for coupon codes before buying. In fact, I'll do my best to keep the description below the video screen updated with the most current discount codes that are out there, so make sure to check that out if School of PE ends up being the right fit for you. A lot of times I see the School of PE packages discounted by up to $300. And by the way, if I could just say, we work really hard to produce honest and helpful content, all totally free, so if School of PE does end up being the right choice for you, we'd really appreciate it if you would use those links listed down below in the description. That's how you can support our channel and allow us to keep creating these types of helpful review videos. And if it turns out that School of PE isn't the right match for you, it's no problem at all. I just want to make sure you get matched up with the right course, and we have a ton of other helpful review videos that you can check out. Okay, so with all that out of the way, let's get into the good stuff, my detailed evaluation of this course. So, everything with School of PE revolves around their study hub. Whether you plan to take the live online package or the on-demand package, it all starts and stops with the student portal. From the dashboard, the main tab where you'll spend 98% of your time is called Course Material. And you can probably guess what is housed under this tab. All of your substantive content and review material is neatly bucketed into sections under this tab based on topic. For example, in the FE Civil course, you've got folders for statics, dynamics, and fluids, just to name a few. Personally, I love this neat and orderly approach because for an OCD mind like mine that likes everything organized, it's perfect. And in terms of what's under these folders, you can think of each as a learning module for that particular topic. Each module generally consists of 5 core learning elements: refresher notes, workshop problems and solutions, lecture videos, quizzes, and flashcards. The refresher notes are essentially just instructor handouts for class. They mainly consist of key teaching points, content review, and sample problems. In my opinion, these are about the most valuable asset of the package. They neatly sum up everything you need to know for that particular topic in 30 to 50 pages. Bottom line, I love these note sets. And I know I covered that pretty quickly, so if you want to see some sample screen grabs of these notes, be sure to check out that full review that I mentioned. I'll have it linked down below in the description. I have more detail and pics over there so you can get a better feel for what to expect. Anyway, after the refresher notes, there's the workshop problems and solutions. And these are just PDFs that consist of a series of targeted practice questions as well as matching solutions. I thought the solutions that School of PE provides are sufficiently detailed for the most part, with a few exceptions, and I like the visuals. Most of the solutions include demonstrative visual breakdowns where it makes sense, and I appreciated this as a visual learner. Then there's the lecture videos. These are the heart and soul of your learning with School of PE. If you're an on-demand student, these will be accessible at any time as they're really just pre-recorded lectures from previous classes. And if you're a live online student, however, these will be added right after class ends, where you can re-watch them for review or watch them for the first time if you had to miss class. These videos, and the real-time classes for that matter I suppose, generally take the form of a slideshow style class. A profile picture of your instructor appears in the upper left corner, and the main teaching is done with the on-screen slides. The instructor will mark the slides up with a stylus and voice their lesson over the on-screen text. I think it's a pretty classic and effective teaching method that I'm sure most people will be used to if they ever took an online class during college. The one thing worth noting here is that if you're an on-demand student, you can't ask questions in real time. You can pause and replay, but there's no chance for interaction. Conversely, live online students can ask questions in class at any time using the chat feature. You can pop a question into the chat box and the instructor will take breaks at intervals to catch up on questions. Though I will say, as an on-demand student, a couple times that we had questions but couldn't ask, someone from the pre-recorded class was apparently on the same wavelength and thinking the exact same thing and asked that question. So sometimes you get saved in that regard. Next, there's quizzes. So once you're done with your refresher notes, workshop problems, and video lectures, you then test what you just learned through a targeted quiz. Each of these quizzes contains about 30 questions and are designed to test your knowledge. And though they're not necessarily realistic of exam questions in nature, they are good for making you think critically. And the final piece of each learning module is a set of digital flashcards. These generally come in two forms. The primary type of flashcard is the classic format with a term or concept on the front and a corresponding definition on the back. However, some flashcards contain short multiple choice questions on the front and the answer to the question on the back. Personally, I like this format variety and found the flashcards to be useful for letting material sink in. They're sort of like a nice cherry on top for each topic before moving on to the next unit. Plus, if you want a quick refresher, you can always circle back to them for a quick review session. And on that point of reviews, this is actually a good opportunity to mention that every so often during the course of your program, you'll be prompted to refresh what you've learned up to that point. The default in the settings is a review at 25% of course completion, 50%, 75%, and at the end of the course, though you can tweak that if you want. These review sessions prompt you to review notes and work practice problems, and I personally found them to be really helpful refreshers. Okay, so two final things I want to cover. If at any point during the program you want further practice, you can always jump into the School of PE practice portal. This tool allows you to build custom quizzes based on question topic, difficulty, and some other parameters. For people that have particular weak spots, I think this tool is useful for working narrowly targeted problems. And those problems, unlike most quizzes, are exam-like in nature. And I found them to be excellent replicas of the real exam problems in terms of content, difficulty, and length. Then finally, the last thing I want to cover. In addition to the digital study hub materials, you also get a hardbound School of PE review guide when you sign up. For us, it was the FE Civil Exam Review Guide, but of course there are separate review guides for the different disciplines as well as for the PE. In any event, this hard copy textbook generally tracks with and supplements the primary digital materials. It contains key notes, formulas, cross-references to the reference handbook, and sample prompts. I'd say my favorite feature of this book is that alongside each practice prompt, there's a QR code, which you can scan on your mobile app and then see a detailed problem solution. Basically, they tie the hard copy book back into the digital material, and everything is integrated through these nifty QR codes, scannable through the app. And that's more or less the main body of coursework from School of PE in a nutshell. In total, you're looking at around a dozen or so different modules, with each made up of a variety of exercises and tools that in total are going to take you somewhere in the ballpark of 300 hours to fully complete. So with all that in mind, let's get to my final verdict. But real quick, before I get to that, I should mention that every single month here at Test Prep Insight, we give away a free prep course to one lucky person. It's super simple to enter. Everyone is eligible. I'll put all the details down below in the description, but just know, it takes less than 10 seconds to enter, and hey, you never know. You could win a free School of PE course. Okay, so my final verdict. Should you use School of PE for your prep? Well, all in all, I personally think School of PE is a rock-solid prep resource. I found the materials to be top-notch in terms of quality, yet not over the top in terms of volume, which is actually one of my few complaints with PPI, their main competitor. And I love how the primary coursework is streamlined through learning modules that consist of video lectures, refresher notes, problem sets, and quizzes, among other features. Plus, the personal study plan they give you and hard copy review guide are both great. In short, I guess there's just a lot to like. I do have a couple minor complaints with this package, such as problem explanations being a little thin compared to others, but by and large, I think there's a good reason why so many people rely on School PE. Overall, this is a very strong review course that I personally think offers tremendous value and will help boost your chances of passing. And that's all I've got for you. I hope this video has been helpful and you learned a little something. If so, make sure to return the favor by subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and dropping us a quick comment below. That'd really be appreciated. And again, if you want to see that full detailed written review that I mentioned earlier in this video, make sure to hop on over our website, testprepinsight.com, or check out the rest of the videos on our YouTube channel. We have a ton of great content out there. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching, best of luck, and we'll see you in the next one.